Okay, so Moulin de Passais, and we've not got a fish this time. We're going to talk a little bit about rigs, because you're probably wondering before you come what kind of rigs to use. So we've got Andy Ward here. He's been here for 2 weeks. We're on the second week. You've had a good week so far, haven't you, Andy?
Yeah, slow start last week, but picked up in the middle of the holiday, and I've got about 42 carp.
Over 40 fish?
Yeah.
So what's the biggest so far?
31 pounds and 1 ounce.
It's a mirror, yeah?
It was.
So what have you been catching them on?
These are the boilies that I use at home, and these are prawn flavoured aminos from Premier Baits.
So quite a fishy bait.
They are quite
and
fishy
what,
bait,
about 18, 16 mil or something?
They're rolled as 18 mil, they've probably shrunk down a little bit with
do you use a varied of size or just
I tend to
one
use
size?
just regular round boilies, but to be honest, I think you probably do equally as well with a larger boiler.
Right, okay. And then the rig you're using, that's it's a pretty standard rig.
Very straightforward
anyone
rig.
can tie.
Very straightforward air rig. It's a Corda barbless wide gate hook tied to a Suffix heavy skin hook length.
And you've just, at the end of it there, you've just stripped it back a bit.
Just stripped it back.
To make it a bit supple at the end.
Yeah, there's just half an inch so that it's not stiff, that moves nice and freely. The bait moves around in a more natural way for the fish to be able to pick up and spit
So,
out.
size hook you're using, what's a good size?
This is a size 6. I personally wouldn't go smaller than size 6, but I know you've got a different view on that yourself, but it's down to personal preference.
So size 6 probably a good hook to stock up on before you come here.
Yeah.
And the braid again, what's that one?
It's a Suffix heavy skin.
And that matches quite well to the lake bed here.
It does,
so,
but I've also used a rigmarole.
I know what one you mean.
Yeah.
It's like a hydro link or something.
It is
like
hydro link, that's the stuff, yes.
So the Suffix one's it's pretty good for Andy, and he's caught well over 40 fish, which is probably, if not, or approaching the record of fish so far for this year in a week, or nearly 2 weeks. So where have you been fishing in certain locations on the lake?
I've been covering most of the lake. Certainly we've had 3 rods between us fishing the deeper part of the lake, but to be honest, fishing the margin and fishing exclusively with boilie.
And you did get some of the particle as well. Have you put a lot of that in?
We did, yeah. On a couple of 3 occasions, we've put in quite a large bucket full of I suppose a spod mix.
With some ground bait as well.
Ground bait, pellet, crushed up boilies, a 2 kilo bag of like method mix halibut, nice stinky.
The ground bait. We don't get a lot of people coming here with ground bait, but obviously Andy's had quite a bit of success with it. So what's the ground bait you've been using?
It's Bait Tech.
It's a Bait Tech one, yeah.
Halibut marine. Method mix.
Okay, so he's been using the ground bait, mixing it in with the particles, putting some boilies, pellet, a nice big mix that creates a bit of a cloud in the water.
A couple of tins of tuna.
And so I've seen lots of tins of tuna here this week.
The cat's enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've got a cat, so don't feed the cat. So you've been using a range of bait, standard rigs, so nothing that you won't be able to do, and just out in every spot on the lake, really.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I found that the open water produces during the nighttime hours, but during the day it's pretty much the margins, and usually the far margins where it's a bit quieter.
And since we put these, we've got 2 aerators. You can probably see one behind just here, and there's one over to the left as well. Have you been fishing close to those?
No, I haven't. Not absolutely bang on top of them, but I think the aerators have certainly benefited the water. I think the fish are moving around a lot more freely.
They do create a nice ripple on the water. So
they do. And I'm probably fishing about 50 yards away from the big aerator at the deep part of the lake, and I think, as I say, the fish have definitely benefited from having the extra oxygen in the water.
Okay, so Andy's fishing from kind of friendlies 1, 2 and 3 for the past couple of weeks, and the majority of fish that I've noticed he's caught from straight opposite kind of friendlies number 1, isn't it, really?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So over into the first kind of bay that we've got that's in front of the boathouse swim, that seems to be holding quite a lot of fish since we put the aerator in.
Fairly shallow water where I'm fishing.
Yeah, it's probably about 2 foot, so if you aim for there, put quite a bit of bait in. Well, not loads. How much would you say?
I've probably got through about 10 kilos of these and probably 10 or 15 kilos of pellet.
Have you stuck to kind of a baiting pattern, or have you just kind of
loose
putting
feed,
it out?
just scattered around.
Any time of day? Or?
Any time of day,
Yeah.
but particularly putting a good number of baits before the night time.
Okay.
Just nighttime calls, and it's been quite successful for me.
There you go. So hopefully that'll give you a few little pointers before you do come to Passais, and hopefully Andy will bag another 30, hopefully one of the 40s before he goes on Saturday. So there you go.
The secret is not to fish a great deal different to how you would back at home.
Yeah, just simple rigs and
Whatever you're confident with.
yeah, and pop-ups. Have you tried pop-ups?
I've tried pop-ups, but not had a single fish on a pop-up.
Okay. So if you're confident using pop-ups, it's always worth a go, because I know people have caught on them here. But if you like Andy, you like using your bottom baits, simple rigs, just go with that, and I'm sure you'll catch a few fish. Yeah? Very good.